Capricorn. Something shifts today that you probably will not notice at first. It shows up as a small moment. Someone at home says something that catches you off guard, or a person outside your usual circle starts talking to you like they have known you for years. On the surface, it looks unrelated. Underneath, both moments are connected to the same cosmic pressure point. And by the end of this reading, you will understand exactly why your instinct to compete today might be aimed at the wrong target. Capricorn, today asks you to notice where you are fighting battles that were never meant to be fought, and where the real opening is quietly waiting instead. The bigger picture. Let us start with the architecture of the day, because everything else builds from here. From the Western tropical lens, Aries energy is activated in the part of your chart tied to extended family and household dynamics. Aries carries the symbolism of competition, speed, impulse, and winning. That is not inherently bad. It is raw fuel. The question today is what you do with it. Do you turn that fire into an attack on someone close to you, or do you channel it into decisive movement towards something you actually want? At the same time, the moon is moving through Virgo, activating your ninth house. This is the house of travel, learning, and expanded perspective. It is the part of you that wants to zoom out, ask bigger questions, and imagine what else is possible. But here is what almost everyone misses about this transit. That same Virgo moon is forming a quincunx to Saturn, sitting in your fourth house, the house of home and roots. Quincunx is not a clean, easy aspect. It is an awkward angle, the kind that asks you to adjust rather than simply flow. So while part of you wants to expand outward, Saturn is quietly reminding you that your foundation still needs tending. In Vedic tradition, the picture looks slightly different, but points toward a related lesson. Vedic astrologers tracking the moon's relationship to Leo suggest your outlook on life could shift meaningfully today, possibly triggered by one particular event or encounter. This is not framed as random. It is framed as a turning point, one that may open a new phase where long-held goals finally start moving. So here is the first synthesis worth sitting with. While the Western chart shows tension between expansion and responsibility, the Vedic reading points to a perspective shift arriving through a specific encounter or experience. Different vocabulary, same underlying message. Today is less about what happens to you and more about what you choose to see differently. That question, what you choose to see differently, becomes the thread running through everything else. Love. This is where the Aries fire and the Virgo-Saturn tension get personal. If you are in a relationship, you may notice a pull today between wanting to plan something exciting, a trip, a bigger conversation about the future, and feeling like your partner is more focused on practical, immediate needs. Maybe they bring up something about the house, a bill, a schedule conflict, right when you are mentally halfway out the door dreaming about somewhere else. Here is the emotional question worth holding on to for now. Does their focus on logistics mean they do not share your excitement, or does it mean something else entirely? You might also notice a flicker of that Aries competitiveness creeping into how you communicate. When someone challenges your plans, does it feel like an attack you need to win? That instinct is available to you today, but it is not the only option. For those who are single, the Vedic influence around meeting a new acquaintance is worth paying attention to. This is not a guarantee that romance walks through the door today, but the energy does lean toward unexpected social contact, someone whose presence catches your attention in a way you did not plan for. Now here is the resolution to that earlier question. The person focused on logistics is not rejecting your dream. They're asking you to bring it down to earth long enough to make it real. Romance works better today when vision and reality are actually introduced to each other, rather than kept in separate rooms. Say the exciting idea out loud, then immediately ask what needs to be true at home for it to work. That single sentence can turn tension into partnership. Career. What begins as a relationship question about vision versus practicality actually reveals something deeper, about how you are showing up at work. You may be dealing with a colleague or a business contact today who is talking a big game, confident pitch, big promises, the kind of energy that makes you want to say yes immediately. The ninth house moon is genuinely giving you a green light to think expansively and assume good intent in people around you. But there is a catch worth naming clearly. Optimism does not mean abandoning discernment. If someone is trying a little too hard to convince you of something, ask the simple, grounded question: can they actually walk their talk? Being open-minded is not the same as being unguarded. This is the same Saturn versus expansion tension from earlier, just wearing a work costume instead of a home one. The big idea might genuinely be worth pursuing. The Aries fire in your chart today is well suited to bold, decisive career moves. Just make sure you are chasing an opportunity, not just chasing the thrill of a fast yes. Money. Financial matters carry a notably favorable current today, and this connects directly to the discernment theme from your career. The energy around your resources leans encouraging, especially where future planning is concerned. This is a reasonable day to look at long-term financial goals rather than only short-term spending decisions. Work-related connections may bring valuable advice or support, information that could shape a financial decision more wisely than acting alone. Here is where the Aries alchemy becomes useful again. Instead of letting that competitive, impulsive fire push you into a fast financial decision, try remixing it. Use that same decisiveness, but aim it at research, comparison, and preparation instead of an immediate leap. Winners in this particular chart configuration are the ones who move fast after they have checked the numbers, not before. Health. Now here is the part of today's chart that quietly reframes everything you have just heard. What looks like Saturn creating friction in your fourth house, pulling at your sense of home and stability, may actually be the very thing protecting your well-being today. Many people with a Virgo moon quincunx to Saturn report a subtle pull toward wanting to do too much at once, expand outward while ignoring what is tired or under-supported closer to home. The body and the emotions tend to notice that imbalance before the mind catches up. If you have been feeling scattered, restless, or like your attention is split between a bigger dream and an immediate obligation, that is not a personal failure. It is the chart. Recognizing it is the actual insight worth carrying forward, because once you see the pattern, you can work with it instead of against it. Some Vedic practitioners may recommend Saturn-related remedies, such as specific gemstones or mantras, for individuals whose birth charts support them. This is not universal advice, since gemstone prescription in Vedic astrology requires personal chart analysis rather than a blanket recommendation for an entire sign. A safer, universally supportive option today is simply spending time outdoors. Reconnecting with nature, even briefly, tends to ease the friction between wanting more and needing rest. Balance today is not about choosing between ambition and stillness. It is about letting one inform the other. Home and family. That balance shows up most directly right where you live. The Aries alchemy activated in your extended family and household area invites a real question. Are you bringing competition and impulse into your home life? Perhaps a sibling, parent, or housemate has said something that felt like a challenge, and your instinct was to treat it like a boxing match, something to win rather than something to understand. You may have noticed this pattern before, where a small disagreement about the house or a shared responsibility escalates faster than it needs to, simply because the fire wants a fight. The alternative available today is to remix that same energy. Instead of attack, try speed and decisiveness in solving the actual problem together. Meanwhile, Saturn's presence in your fourth house is asking you to name what your home base genuinely needs before you commit to anything expansive. This is not about shrinking your bigger plans. It is about mapping the practical pieces, dates, responsibilities, who is handling what, so the dream does not quietly starve the foundation that supports it: travel and spirit. This is where the ninth house energy finally gets room to breathe. There is a genuine pull today toward learning, travel, or expanding your perspective, and one specific possibility worth noting is a trip connected to India, which may carry unexpectedly meaningful experiences if the timing aligns. That does not mean you need to book a flight this afternoon. It means the appetite for meaningful movement, physical or mental, is real and worth honoring. Picture it like standing at the edge of a bridge you have wanted to cross for a while. Saturn is not telling you not to cross it. Saturn is asking you to check that the bridge is actually built before you step onto it. Book the trip after you have checked the schedule. Have the bigger conversation after the practical pieces at home are handled. That sequence changes everything about how smoothly the expansion actually goes. Spiritually, today rewards curiosity paired with grounded follow-through, the exact combination this entire chart has been quietly asking of you since the first mention of Aries fire this morning. Lucky signs. If you are looking for a few small anchors today, purple is considered a favorable color in current Vedic guidance, symbolically tied to prosperity. The window between 3 and 5 in the afternoon is highlighted as a particularly fortunate stretch, worth keeping free for something important if you can. New acquaintances may carry unexpected relevance, so an open, attentive attitude in unfamiliar social settings tends to serve you well today. Today's guidance. So here is where all of it lands. The fire that wanted to fight this morning was never really about winning an argument at home. It was about having the courage to move decisively towards something meaningful once you knew where to aim it. Map the dates before you chase the dream. Ask the practical question before you say yes to the exciting pitch. Bring the vision and the reality into the same conversation, whether that is with a partner, a colleague, or yourself. Capricorn. The version of expansion your real life can actually support is still expansion. It is just wiser, steadier, and far more likely to last.